Trying out bad ports today.
This is too weird. Okay, you got this! Huh, okay. That rotten egg smell's gone. Must have gotten used to it. The way things are going, I'll be working for Shinra next. Nice try, Midgar. I'm talking to myself. He's getting me.
It's alright, I'm a streamer. I talk to myself for a job, so... yeah. What's this? This seems to be working quite well. Knock on wood. This is like one of the worst PC ports I have. One of the worst. This, Avengers, Star Ocean 6. Those are like the shit list for PC games I have that run like trash.
Wait, did you just come from any monster troubles, or...?
Monsters have been acting strange.
Not gonna be good for any of us. Wutai's got their claws in this.
Mako Reactor 5 has been temporarily shut down, and all fires have been successfully extinguished. The situation is under control, and the people of our fair city need not worry about any additional complications. We are in the process of conducting a full forensic investigation, but we suspect the device used was similar to...
It's not really taxing my system at all. If you look in the upper left-hand corner, got MSI Afterburner up.
That's gotta be Avalanche! Not bad.
It's basically
Not
like the
bad at all.
blood
But
pressure
I
of my
can do
computer.
better.
When it's running a game. It's like a heart rate monitor.
Yo.
What? There's our palm. So, you're Avalanche?
I'm Jija. Follow me.
What? Wait up!
Wait up, and then you gotta do forced walking.
So, Jija, why didn't you come
FF7
with me
remake
before?
way.
I figured an elite W agent could find their own way.
I know
Wait up.
the elite,
He ain't
but
in
it's
any
not like
hurry.
I've ever been to Midgar. And what exactly is a W anyway?
Anyone who lives where you just came from, think of it as a code name.
I heard a lot of people say that I would
Still
like
can't believe they sent a kid to do this
this
job.
DLC more
This
because it's shorter
kid
and the
could kick
combat
your
is more
ass.
up my alley.
Seeing your
so I
fresh
figured,
face is all.
Oh, don't
Since this is
worry.
one of the worst
I know
ports I have.
exactly what you're saying.
This will
Give
be
me
one
a
of the
break,
games
will
I
ya?
try out. It's
I'll
not
let
about
you
an
walk all
hour.
over me.
Well,
About
here
an
we
hour
are.
to stream.
Ladies first.
They didn't get caught. No turn up.
Gotta head over to the neighbors for usual shift.
I can almost taste your pizza now, Jesse.
These two are Billy Bob and Polk. And that's Nio.
Hi. My name is Yuki, Materia Hunter and Elite Special Forces Operative for the new Wutai government. I have orders to infiltrate Shinra HQ and steal their ultimate materia. To prove to our common enemy that Wutai is not to be trifled with. Members of Avalanche, with your full support, we got this.
Ready to rumble, huh?
You better believe it. So, did you guys meet Sonon yet? He was supposed to be here.
Yeah, he got in 3 days ago.
He's out on the town as we speak. Really seems to be enjoying it here.
Oh, he does he?
You, got any bags?
As if. Ninjas always travel light. It's like a rule. But I did bring these. Wutai's famous Dachao beans. Eat up. And here you go.
The Senzu beans.
Oh! Can you eat these things? Guess you do.
Sheesh, you ninjas are insane.
Do me a favor, Yuffie, and wait here for Sonon. I gotta head out. Your ID should be ready for pickup by now.
Then why don't I join ya?
Nah, I got this. Besides, you reek of trouble.
Huh?
My teeth.
You're welcome. So the materia I'm looking for is in the Shinra building, right? And where is that even? What did you do?
Oh, of course you probably knew this already, but there's a whole other city built on the Shinra building is right in the middle.
Oh, that one.
Now, if you want to get top stand for help with that, you should talk to Paul.
You look kind of nervous.
I just want to make sure I have the plan down pat.
If you had an ID, but with all the commotion going on, if you ask me, your best bet is to sit tight.
Sit tight.
Be my
Yeah,
guest.
you need to
then.
walk some
You'll
more.
get killed.
Harsh.
If you need specifics in the Shinra building, that's
Okay.
You must be tired from your trip.
With all the noise in this city, how about you tell me where in the Shinra building they're keeping that material?
Actually, all I know is that Shinra, for most purposes, which means the Advanced Weaponry Division,
I see so. You won't have to wait much longer, my...
just be careful, will you?
you look about ready to die of bull.
Or,
I shouldn't.
yes I have. I'll whoop you so hard you...
For my benefit, then. Let me go over
No,
them.
I don't want to play a minigame right now. I want to test it. I didn't grow up with Final Fantasy, so I don't have any nostalgia for this. Let's not. Guess I have to do this. I'm already bored. This is very boring. This is like why I don't like strategy games. Stand around and wait. I don't really do anything exciting. You really have to do this, don't you? You can't get out. Forced mini games are the best. That's why Bayonetta 3 is such a masterpiece. All I wanted to do was try the combat, but I'm stuck in this mini game now. Can't get out. much longer does this go on for? Can I get back to the actual game? Bayonetta 3 PTSD. This is so boring. Yeah. I get why this is in here though, because the base game for this has like barely any side stuff. Pretty good here. This is mad boring. Just kind of standing here.
Damn, Yuffie, how'd you do that?
You mean you?
Well, if you're looking for a challenge, yeah.
I
don't
kinda got
wanna do
better.
that
Sure
ever
about
again.
that? Where it is if you beat the Grandmaster.
Materia?
That's right. But you should know, the hardcore competitive.
Whatever. Bring it on.
You know about the VR combat simulation mod?
Huh? It's that thing that.
Kinda. There's even a portable version of it.
Uh-huh.
Hardly ever see technology that cutting edge. So what do you say?
I really don't have time to, but just to be polite.
The guy's name is Chad. If you ever feel like some virtual training, I'm sure he'd be happy.
Sonon's still not back?
What's Walmart?
Let's just say it's a place for maturity. There's lots of different establishments.
No, I feel like bars filled with smoke so thick you can't even see. Where everyone gets drunk and complains about how kids don't be the death of society. Wutai's got a place like that. It's called the Happy Turtle.
Interesting.
Huh?
I don't know where exactly because
You do? You're taking down Midgar. I salute.
come to think of it, people call him old, and he doesn't dress like you might be from Woot.
I gotta find him. Man deserves some dechow. All this talking's giving me a headache. I'm gonna go do some recon.
The slow
I
walking.
won't stop you. Just don't go too far, okay?
Go faster than walking. Did I like this game? No. Not at all. I didn't like the combat, the pacing, but
Hey, do you remember the last time
I heard a lot of people say I should try this game again, so
Oh,
I didn't try this
Hear
character.
that away at the hat.
No, I did not like this
Greetings,
game at all.
Sasha. So, how many?
What?
Ahem. Collect just 6 flyers for the Happy Turtle. Ring any bells?
Nope.
Well then, the Happy Turtle's running a contest, and the rules are simple. All you have to do is, and you'll earn yourself a prize shirt. Sadly, a handful of some have even gone so far as to tear down.
Bummer.
But hey, by collecting just a handful of flyers, you could be the first, and at this rate, the only winner of the most testudinarious contest in Midgars. This here's a sample of one of our ads. Now it's up to you to find all 6. Sweet.
That prize is as good as mine.
Ah, since you're here, this job may keep a shell over my head, but my real pack, I'd gladly part with some oddities and commodities in exchange for those little views.
Is that the song of the turtle I hear? I'm coming for you, Flyer.
Wow, 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 wow.
you're supposed to be a mover?
And just who are you? Never seen your face. All right.
I don't know, I played this for like 8 hours. I found it to be really boring. It's like God of War. Too many cutscenes.
So, when your opponent...
Hey there,
wasn't
see?
that great
How's
either.
that conversation?
Oh, sorry.
My daughter's been dying to play it, but first I have...
That game wouldn't happen to be Fort Collins.
You will? Oh, thanks.
No, not right now.
It's probably the trick.
Avalanche will be
Alright, well, it's not stuttering in here, so I guess this game is playable now. I just wish I actually liked it. I want to try the combat, but it won't let me fight anything.
Attention for 3. You know the drill. You wanna? And why are you dressed like a? What are you talking? Super cute. Nana's name is huh? Just saying how much I was looking forward to playing Fort Con. Sure, I'll put you 1 match 3.
No. I want to play a mini game where I just stand there and wait.
There it is.
My turn-based stuff is boring.
Searching for candidates. Candidate detected. She seems relatively agile and has...
Hey,
My apologies. My name is Chadley.
I'm Yuffie. So,
Combat. It would entail doing battle with the... Very well then.
get lost! No way! You're gonna get what's coming to you.
I'm supposed to do that later. Ah, that game is mad boring. I can't take any more of that. Maybe the next one will be better. I don't know, man. I'd rather play Tales of Arise over that game, to be honest with you. I think the pacing in that game is better. Alright, this is like one of the worst ports I have. Here's the part where they announce end of service. This game shuts down soon. They finally gave up. It took too long. It's a shame, man. This game could have been good, but these guys have no idea how to run a service game. That's the problem. You don't get a single-player studio known for making like really good Tomb Raider games to make this. Like, just doomed from the start. It's like everybody wants service games, but like they don't get people that actually know how to make them. Let's get the Tomb Raider studio to make a service game, and they put out an update like once every 6 months, and then the loot sucks. So it's not really engaging to play.
Finished with that report for Commander Hill.
All right, Avengers. We got word from our scouts of an attempted breakout at one of AIM's prisons. Those Inhumans need our help. Let's go get our people. You have to get all the Inhumans out safely. We can take it from there.
Understood, Dr. Pym. Searching the area now.
Get my heart rate monitor up.
I've located captive Inhumans. They're being kept in portable cells. You'll have to break them out.
200 FPS right now. Could barely do 60 on this glorious game before. It was fun for a while. I don't want to hate on it too hard. It was fun for a while.
Over us.
I saw the writing on the wall. I stopped playing.
My patience is short.
Yeah, I think the last patch for this is in March. And they're pulling the plug. They're done.
Ha!
There they are. You'll need to destroy the locking mechanisms to open the cells.
Test completed. I can't stand that game. Let's go. That game's going higher than my refresh rate, so I think that's adequate. That's all that game's good for anymore. Pretty impressive to screw up an Avengers game of all things. People freaking love the Avengers, but you gotta get the right people to make a game like that. Don't get the Tomb Raider studio to make a service game. It's baffling. Why would you do that? This has probably got to compile shaders. Did I try Elysium? Yeah, if you watch my, I did a port review for that last week. That game just has one thing that, the DLSS in that game doesn't work properly. It makes the game stutter. You turn it off, it runs fine. I wanted to see how this runs, because I had a hard time running this game, too. Yeah, see, this is what DLSS is supposed to do, right? It's supposed to provide the highest frame rates without compromising image quality. What it does in Valkyrie Elysium is it's like super taxing on your computer for some reason. Like they didn't put it in properly. They didn't put it in properly, so your first like response is to put it on because it's supposed to be a good thing, but it's not in that game. It makes it run worse, which is like baffling. Like how do you screw something like that up? It's like a game like running worse on low settings. Like it's complete opposite of what you expect, what you're trained to do when you play games on computer. The sound's all messed up. It doesn't matter. I'm not really playing anything for long periods right now. This game drops frames a lot, even though it's, you can look in the upper left-hand corner, I got MSI Afterburner up. It's like still choppy a little bit. Better than it was. They're supposed to be adding, like, builds to this game, and I'll probably play this game again when they add that. But, there are a lot of problems with this game's gameplay loop. Mostly just a lot of emphasis on story, but the story doesn't have any kind of meaningful conclusion at all. All the endings are depressing. It doesn't feel like you actually accomplish anything. I feel like they really tried to copy Hades, but they just don't have the high quality writing that Supergiant has. So the story just got in the way. They couldn't really, could tell they couldn't really figure with that game. They wanted it to have a story. They didn't want it to just be like most roguelikes, where you just kind of get plopped in a room and you just fight stuff. They wanted it to be more than that, but their writing sucks. Like, and they place such a big emphasis on the story, and it's honestly not very good. It's very depressing. And you have to like work really hard to get the endings too. You have to do a lot of grinding, so it's not even like it's not even a matter of like, you know, people just don't like bad endings. There are definitely good like bittersweet endings out there, but that game has like 7 of them. Like, it honestly would have been better if it just did not have a story. I feel like action roguelikes like that are like really hard to make a compelling story for, because no matter what, you know, you still have to be able to keep playing the game, right? You can't just prevent people from playing. I think in the best ending, the one that's supposed to be the good ending, he wakes up and his family is still alive and he's supposed to take them out somewhere, but then he freaks out and he shoots himself. And then it just goes back into the same gameplay again. It makes no sense. But I guess they're going to be making it more of an actual roguelike, so there'll be like more of a reason to play besides the story. That was kind of the problem with that game I was just playing, because they wanted the story to be like the main hook, but the story is depression porn, and it's not really a good story at all. I think that game is a good example of why people should not complain when a roguelike comes out and it has no story. It's like probably the worst genre to try to make an actual compelling plot with. You have a lot against you trying to make a story in that kind of game where it's like designed to be replayable. I think they tried, but utterly it was a waste of time. I got like half the endings. I'm like, does this guy ever succeed at anything? Like, all the guy does is just fail. Like, he keeps dying, or like he accomplishes something, but it makes everything worse. I feel like that's gonna keep happening. People are gonna try to catch Hades lightning in a bottle. It's like, no, just focus on having combat rooms. To be honest with you. Just focus on having combat rooms. Like, the game can't have a definitive ending anyway. You're gonna keep playing it.
この両鉱石の出番。敵将、撃ち取ったよ。
Still, the Hero Slayer kind of had that problem too, where like they had the story, but there's like no reason for you to keep playing. Like the whole plot is resolved the first time you beat it. And then you just keep going and beating up your dad again. It's like I envy people for try. I'm glad that they try. Honestly, I think it should just be like takes a hint from Vampire Survivors, just like no story. You don't have a lot of room to work with. This is barely taxing the computer at all. It's on max settings. Game has the best vehicle in all open world games. Yeah, freaking like Mach 5 horse. So this game's the best thing about it. Look how fast it goes. This horse is like roided out. It might not be anything in the open world, but damn, you can get through it fast. They had their priorities straight. Well, so far those are the worst PC ports I have. They're all running pretty much perfect. They're above 60 at all times. Well, Dynasty Warriors 9 is hard capped at 60, but running fine. It's not taxing the CPU anymore. I think I've tested pretty much everything. That's like all I really had ready for tonight. Yeah, Valkyrie Elysium, if you buy that game, don't, if you buy that game, don't turn on DLSS. It makes it run worse. Because they don't know how to implement that properly. What else we got here? Other bad PC ports do I have? That's basically the worst games that I had. Actually, try Star Ocean. Let's try that really quick. Yeah, I was wondering what was wrong with it, because I'm like, dude, my computer should walk all over this game. I mean, it's basically like a PS2 game. It's basically just a modern PS2 game. Like, there's not really a whole lot Not really a whole lot to it. It's basically just a bunch of small, like, linear combat rooms, which is a good thing, yes, but the game like that shouldn't be stuttering as much as it was, especially on the kind of computer I have right now. And somebody was like, "Oh, just turned off the just turn off the DLSS. It runs perfect." Yeah, Square is, they're treating JRPGs like, Guitar Hero. They're putting out, like, 5 of them a year, and, like, maybe one of them is good. Like, I might not like Final Fantasy VII Remake. I was playing that at the beginning of the stream. I'm not so closed-minded to realize that that's a high-quality game, right? It was divisive, yes. But it's a high-quality game in pretty much every way. Not everybody liked it, but it's definitely AAA, right? But then, like, the other JRPGs they put out are, like, way worse, and I feel like they're trying to oversaturate the market. Which is exactly what happened with Guitar Hero. Towards the end of Guitar Hero's lifespan, they were putting out, like, 5 games a year. And I actually, at the time I was living with my friends, and one of the guys I lived with, he loved Guitar Hero. But I got to watch the decline of Guitar Hero, like, live in person, because he was getting sick of it. They had one, like, every 3 months. and then it died out. Like, it died out immediately after. I don't really understand what they're doing. I thought that with, like, the Trials of Mana remake, that they, like, okay, you know, this game is obviously low budget. It's not, you know, it didn't take, like, $200 million to make, like, the FF7 remake. But it's still, like, a good game. It's obviously smaller. It's more compact. It's not meant to be, like, super mainstream appeal like FF7, which is, like, the most normie JRPG by far. It's still a good game. It's a faithful remake. It's something that needed to be remade, and, you know, we never really got that game over here in the first place. That was the kind of quality I was expecting, but it ended up being, how much can we flood the market with stuff that's not terrible, but, like, maybe mid-tier JRPGs back in the PS2 era, which was like the peak of the genre. Pretty much from the SNES to like the PS2, like those generations, those were like the best, like the 3rd to 6th generations of video games. And then after that, it's been like a really steep decline. Well, what's happening now is I wouldn't say consoles caught up to PC. It's more that the requirements are going to go up through the roof. That's right, Forspoken comes out tomorrow. I hear that game, like, I'm hearing it's running at like 720p on PS5. Have you guys seen the requirements for that game, by the way? They want, like, for like ultra settings, which for that game is 1440p 60, which is not what most people consider to be ultra settings these days. They want like a 4070. They want a 4070 for 1440p 60 FPS. And like, I have a much worse computer than that even after the upgrade, and I can push most things like probably above 100 FPS 1440p. I heard they're not giving out review keys for that game either. That's always a bad sign.
This is most disturbing news. I assumed the Empire had its claws in our lands, but to think they had sunk so deep.
We witnessed plain as day the sort of tests they mean to deploy. To be frank, a laboratory of that scale is not something one woman can conceal. What's more, her friends have been spotted in all corners of the kingdom.
Alright, I don't really have a lot of time to watch cutscenes right now.
What? Where could Albert have gone off to?
I think Forspoken is the next next PC port train wreck. This game's port is a train wreck.
Albert?
They did fix it to a degree.
What is he up to?
And also the requirements are pretty modest. It's not asking for like the
Not the look I'd
$5,000
expect from one who's
computer.
about to reunite with a comrade.
And where's your smile? This is what you wanted, isn't it? Returning home with your maester in tow?
Is everyone still making preparations? Perhaps I should wait for them near the town entrance.
Are you troubled, cousin?
Enemies up ahead.
Roger.
Nice stutter.
Energy levels low. Threat neutralized. Insufficient power. Admit defeat! Warning. Energy destroyed. Insufficient.
Oh man, the stutters.
Warning. Energy levels low. Prepare yourself to battle. Insufficient output. You are more than you deserve. No, I cannot. Warning. Energy levels low. It destroyed.
Couldn't even unlock the frame rate on this.
Warning. Energy levels low.
You couldn't even unlock the frame rate.
You'll not be the last. Threat neutralized.
Well, this game I wasn't bottlenecked by. It's mostly just the port is bad. It's running better than it was. They did put out a patch recently. It reduced the stuttering quite a bit. It didn't completely fix it, but it's mitigated enough that the game is playable. It was not before. It would stutter constantly. You couldn't even walk around in town. It's like felt like your computer was like gonna fall apart. But then if you looked at my little heart rate monitor in the upper left hand corner while I was playing, it's like not taxing the computer at all. It's using like half of the processing power I have, barely even that. It's just a bad port. Digital Foundry made a really good video about like what needs to change in PC ports. One of the things they mentioned was high frame rate support. There's too many games that come out that only support 60. Which isn't inherently a bad thing, but, you know, we pay a premium. Like, I have a computer that can run stuff at, like, 165, so I'm getting stuff that runs at barely 60. I get pissed off, and I have every right to, so I'm spending a lot of money on this. Shit ain't cheap. I want something that actually uses my computer. And we'll test out Elysium for a little bit, and then I gotta go. I'm running a little low on time. I gotta get over there in like 20 minutes. Hold on a minute. So what you had to do is you had to turn upscaling off. If it's on at all, the game stutters like crazy. Alright, I gotta get the Unreal Engine unlocker up, because this game does not support higher than 60. For some unknown reason. The game works completely fine. You just, there's no option for it. You gotta do this every time on boot. Alright. See, the console came up. There we go. It's at 144. Wanted Dead. That game looks alright. I kinda wish it didn't have the guns. I'm not a big fan of guns. The guns are kind of a turn off for me. I don't like shooters. I like hand-to-hand combat. Well, Dante guns are more than just shooting. Dante's guns have either always been too good or awful. I feel like they don't know how to balance the guns. Like in 3, Gunslinger was like the worst style.
There's something the matter.
We're talking about base 3, not modern DMC 3, which is the meaning the PC port with the style switcher mod and the Switch version
I do not recall
that has just
anything like
native
that.
style switching.
I didn't
Gunslinger
even
was like the
notice.
worst. The
How
other
about
ones all
you,
had their
Valkyrie?
uses. Gunslinger was like the worst one to take. Because you can only
I don't
take
think she
one.
noticed anything either.
It did the stuff that they tried to add to the guns with Gunslinger, they didn't have anywhere near as much utility as any of the other 3 styles.
To attack 3 enemies in
You know,
one
Royal
shot.
Guard, you could get around the other stuff just because you could block everything and you
And
could do
because of that,
insane damage.
I could only
Royal
strike
Guard was
2.
really good if you learn how to use it.
Does that count?
Trickster,
as
of
a
course, you had
mistake?
the like tons of iframes and you could close the distance really fast, and then Swordmaster gave you a lot of really powerful moves. Gunslinger was, I wouldn't call it worthless, but with the original design intent of the game, which was meaning only using one until you got to a statue and you changed it, it was like the worst thing that you could take. And two's guns we all know were too good. 4 and 5 kind of tried. I think 5 it's probably the best. Just because the guns actually have a lot more utility than they used to. But yeah, they've always had a problem balancing his guns. 2 is kind of like, you know, we don't really know how to make good boss fights or melee combat anymore, so we're just gonna make the guns so you just stand back and shoot, and you kind of like question if you're playing a third-person shooter or an action game. And then 3 is like they tried to make the guns more interesting, but the hardware limitations kind of prevented it from actually accomplishing that, because you could only choose one style. And all the other ones were very useful for certain situations, and you could master just one, that the game was like designed around it, but Gunslinger felt like it didn't really need to be there. Like, you could take out Gunslinger and most people probably wouldn't mind. For Dante, I didn't play that much. But you could do some cool stuff with the guns in that for sure. I think Gunslinger was better in that by proxy, just because you could switch in real time. You weren't locked to one.
This should be easy enough.
I'm pretty sure after DMC 2, they just didn't want the guns to ever be that broken again. Like they It had a very, very strong intent to like never let the guns be that broken again. I think Wanted Dead's gonna depend on how well the two sides of combat actually balanced. Because there's lots of action games where the gun is like completely useless. Because they use DMC2 rightfully as a base for like what not to do. What not to do with ranged combat in a melee combat game. There's lots of games where the gun is useless. I think traditionally it's more useless than broken in most games. The Avengers game is like the opposite. The gun in that was like, the range stuff in that was so much better than melee. Like there was no point to doing the melee combat. If you're going for efficiency. Like that game was, had the DMC2 kind of balancing. Like the gun is so much, like the ranged attacks are so much better than melee. Like obviously a lot easier to do.
You're up against me.
Lend me your strength, Egon.
I'll take it. This should be simple enough.
Fortune doesn't smile on me this day. Lance of flame. Here ends your miserable existence. To my side, noble
Oh, never mind, it's still stuttering. Great port. Oh well, at least it was minor. It's probably because I have particle effects on high. That's gonna do it for now, folks. I gotta go over to my caregiver job. So the verdict is everything pretty much runs well. Those are like the worst PC ports I have, in no particular order, and they all run quite well. So as much as I'm gonna be paying off this bill for a while, it's it's definitely worth it. I'm pretty future-proof. The port would have to be really bad for me to not be able to run it above 60. So, thanks for being my test subjects. Let's see. Will I stream over there? This might actually replace the kitty sitting stream. I'm leaning towards yes, because PGR is back to being like a 20-minute game. So, I might play that Capture Clash game actually if I do boot up over there. Probably play Capture Clash. What else is there? Let me see before I make any promises. Yeah, PGR is kind of back in the like the Nier update, which is like not much to do that doesn't take stamina. So, let's see here. Might just play some old-fashioned emulators tonight if I do stream over there. If not, if Roland is around, there might be some Stranger in Paradise tonight. Otherwise, let's see. For an actual game I want to play tonight, I kind of want to work on maybe Spider-Man tonight. Maybe play some KOF 15. I kind of don't have much of a backlog right now. I got some games I want to play, but I'm like not feeling them that much, so... and plus, I'm going to be doing the Stranger of Paradise DLC in like 2 days, so... I don't know if I want to start any of the longer games right now. I might just play random stuff. We'll see. I'll likely come back tonight if I don't stream over there. Doesn't seem like much needs to be done over there tonight. Seems like they took care of most things themselves today, so... if I do stream over there, I'll probably be emulators and stuff. See you guys later. If not in like an hour, or less than an hour, then probably tonight, the usual.